When we start a Simple Church Plus with a Jesus Family Church mindset, we make Jesus our pastor, our senior pastor. Peter wrote to church leaders in 1 Peter 5 that Jesus is the chief shepherd, a title which means senior pastor. Jesus' primary disciple, Peter, never claimed that title for himself. He understood that no human leader should be placed in a position that belongs to Jesus alone. While God wants us to partner with and learn from humble Christian leaders, it is a mistake to follow a church leader rather than Jesus himself. This hurts us, and it hurts that leader. It stunts our spiritual growth and sets us up for disappointment when that leader fails to meet our expectations. It also hurts that leader, placing expectations on him that God never intended. One way to make Jesus our pastor is to read his word on our own and follow what he says in our daily lives. In reality, none of us teach the Bible. Everyone, including a pastor or our favorite Christian teacher, teaches his or her personal interpretation of the Bible. So it is easy for us to base our beliefs, at least partly, on a leader's interpretation of the Bible, rather than on the Bible itself. When this happens, in a subtle but significant way, we often end up following someone other than Jesus. But when Jesus is our pastor and his universal church is our church, we read the Bible on our own and learn from many teachers, not just one teacher, in Jesus' universal church. Another way to make Jesus our pastor is to move from rows to circles for our main church meeting. Here's an uncomfortable truth. Systems are not neutral. In today's church system, where for many, the main meeting is in rows, that system naturally steers us toward trusting a pastor rather than Jesus, even if the pastor has noble motives. But when our main meeting is in a prayer circle and a meeting in rows is seen as a supplement, no human is elevated, but Jesus becomes the focus. Many say, "My pastor said this," or "My pastor did that," but the terminology, "my pastor," doesn't appear in the New Testament. When we make Jesus our pastor, we say what David said in Psalm 23, "The Lord is my shepherd, my pastor." So in our church life, let's make Jesus our pastor by reading and following his word, by starting a simple church that meets in a prayer circle, and by telling others that Jesus is our lifetime pastor.